You understand? The elements we are going to use supposed to be 4, 4.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let me try to share again. This person. Now.
Okay, now we'll see tomorrow. All right, my dear. Yeah, I'll talk to you again later.
Please.
All right.
I'm in class now. I will call you back later. Please, sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, so what are we saying? Is there anything wrong with our formula?
Hello, sir.
Sorry, I will need to go back. So I just want to recap what we have done and how we got to this point. So actually what happened is that instead of D, we put E. So that is why we are not getting that figure initially. So once you change this one to D, we got our 50,000. So just copy the same formula. It's going to be the same formula. Just paste it here and you are good to go. So you don't need to disturb yourself. Just drag this down straight to this point. Then the other one as well, drag it down. So this is the kind of formula you have on your Sage, that as you post the opening balance and you post the transaction for the year, it will continue to do the calculations for you and it will give you. So it means at the end of the year now, your asset is going to be what? 50. So let's go to receivable. Let's use receivable, for example, or this borrowing. Let's assume that in the current year, they reduce their borrowings by paying a certain amount. Let's assume they paid, how much is this? Let's assume they pay 50 million. Let's assume they pay 50 million in the year. So let's post 50 million naira. So that 50 million naira will come here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. What happened to the borrowings? The borrowing reduced automatically. What are they going to do? They will have debited their borrowings and credit the bank that the money is going out for. And that is what will have happened here too. So let's assume that receivables. Let's assume that luckily all our receivables will have been debited. Some people paid, and that will reduce our receivables. We were able to collect some receivables. So it means we will credit receivables by that amount and debit our bank that we have received the money. So it means we are going to say let's assume we receive 3 million. Receivable reduced to what? 2.50 AB. But if you check your trial balance, it will not agree because we have only posted one leg. The other leg is missing. Let's go and see it.
Hello.
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 Sorry.
Off your mic, please. You are disturbing us. Or do you have questions? If you look at
no, sorry, I don't have any question. I didn't know I was not muted.
Oh, yeah, mute your mic, please. You will see that our trial does not agree because we have only posted one leg. And for every debit entry, there must be credit entry. So now let's assume we have posted two things. We said they pay 50 million naira and they also received 3 million naira. Let's assume that these two figures are within bank. So let's say you credited this 3 million naira. Then we debit our bank because the money is coming in. So let's credit the bank. It means we are going to add, where is the bank here? So let's assume that we had 3 million to this. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Abi? Now that is first one. Another one, we assume that they paid 50 million naira in the year, Abi. Where will they make the payment from? The bank. So it means they are going to credit bank. So let me just copy this and take it to the bank. I will just credit bank here. The bank reduced to 466. Now our trial balance must balance now. The figure has disappeared. That is what Sage also will do for you. So as you post debit and you post the credits, both will net off and your account continue to, your trial balance continue to pile up and continue to balance. That what we have done now is journal adjustment. But I'm not doing it in the form of journal. So I'm just doing it in form of normal posting. And now, some people paid us 3 million out of our receivables. So we will credit receivable that, yes, our receivable has reduced by 3 million. Then that money, 3 million, must enter our bank account. So we debit the bank account. Then we paid 50 million from our borrowings. So for us to pay 50 million from our liability, we will debit liability to reduce the liability. Then we now credit our bank that we paid that 50 million naira from the bank. So the two posting will net off and our accounts will balance. So any question from online and physical? I think we have done justice to this first day. Why is it showing what? It's not showing here. But if you look at the bank, I added it together. But if I created, if I'm creating another journal, another space now, I will call that space journal entry, journal adjustment. So I will not be showing it there. That one is for another day. I just put it at the front because there's no figure here. Yes. And you see that this is 50 million here. This is another 50 million there. The two net off each other. This is 3 million here. And this is another 3 million added to this. The two net off each other. For every debit entry, there must be credit entry. Sure, we are good to go. That is, you can see how long it's going to take you to understand trial balance. Sometimes I look at question on our group chat. I will just look at it. This person doesn't understand basic of trial balance. That is why you are finding it difficult. But if you know these things, it will not be difficult for you to post accounts, to undo any stage or whatever. Even if you don't know how to do it, once they install it, they are going to give you at least 1 week or 2 weeks training. Those who are installing it. Immediately they give you that training and you understand all these things, you are good to go. But if you don't know all these things, you will continue to ask on the platform, how do you debit? Where am I going to debit this? Where am I going to credit this? Because you don't know all these fundamental principles. So this is our general, this is our TB. And we have been able to generate our TB from here. Now, let's go to the main general ledger now.
Sorry, before you go.
Okay, before I go.
Yeah, please, can you please allow me to pick the formulas here for the final trial balance? I want to pick for the debit and the credit.
You want to pick?
Yes, I want to pen down these formulas.
Oh, yeah, pen down now. I'm already placing it on it already.
Thank you. Okay, okay, that's the credit side. Go to the credit side, please.
It's the same formula.
Okay, just the same formula. Okay, okay. All right, thank you, sir. You can go now.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing this. This is the last one I'm going to show you before we close for today. This is the last one, but it's just going to be in form of
Go further there.
I may send it. But you know, you have done it already. It doesn't agree. And do you insert opening balance? This place. Do you insert any figure there? No. It will not be the same figure now. All these things, I'm not sure yet. I will think about it. Don't worry, let's finish this one first. This is general ledger. Okay, so this is general ledger. And this is how it always look like. For those who have not seen it before, it's going to have information about dates. It's going to have information about description. It's going to have information about post reference. That is the code. It's going to have debits, credit, total debits, and total credit. Depends on the Sage, the type of package you are using. If you're using software, if you're using Sage, the outputs will be different from output of QuickBooks. If you're using QuickBooks, output of that will be different from Zoho, and so on like that. So the first thing, let's talk about the dates. So I'm going to post January 1st, 2023. Then the opening balance as at that date is going to be like, I'm still going back to that thing that platform, that sheet. So the description of that items will be here. Then we are going to have the reference code, debit, or if it is credit. And you are going to be seeing the balance at the front of it. So I'm going to stop sharing this now. We will now go back to that. So each line items will have their own general ledger. Cash we have its own. Bank we have its own. Receivable we have its own general ledger. Payable, assets, what again? As many as you have line items, they will all have their different stuff like that. I will stop sharing this. We will now practicalize it. So I'm going to I'm going to do it here. Let's call this place general ledger. Okay. So let's call the dates first. So you will see that we have this. First of January 2023, Abby. What is the name of that line item? If we are talking about cash, or if you are talking about bank will be here. Abby. Then we are going to be having description. So after description, we are going to have debit. Okay, post reference, Abi. Or we can call it code, anyhow they want to fill it. Then we are going to have debit. You have to have credit. So what is the opening balance as at January? So this description will be opening balance. The code can be 0001. Is 001. Then debit, because bank is always debited. What is our opening balance for bank? 30 million. That 30 million naira will be here. Are we getting that now? Then we will now start having different type of transaction in the year. Receive, let's say income. We have director also pays some money into our bank account. Then we also pay some expenses. That will be part of our income stuff. Let's assume we also pay transport. We pay salary in the year. Are we getting that now? The date will be different. The date will continue like that, but will remain 2023. So this will not work. So this one, let's say this one is on the 11th. Let's say this one is on the 15th. Let's say this one is on the 18th. Let's say this one is on the 1st of February. 1st of February. Like that, like that. If I not put it, it will not give in this format. I will do it now. I'm coming. Let's put this one as February. If I remove this comma from here, if I remove it from this first one, sometimes it will not give you like that. It's because I've already dragged that format up to this point. So sometimes it just give you, because I'm putting a 00 at the back. Okay, for example, if we look at this one, if I remove this comma now here, it will only give me 1. And now because 0 cannot start a figure now. So, but if you want that 0 to start it, you will put that comma, and then it will remain there for you. So let's assume the code will continue this way. The number is, the code will continue. So all this transaction now, because this income, the money is coming into the bank. Let's assume 50 million comes to the bank. I believe for my online people are still there. Okay,
yes,
they're still there. So let's assume they receive 50 million. Let's assume they receive 50 million income in that month. There's addition from the director, additional 10 million. Expenses now will be credited because the money is going out, Abi. So let's say it's, how much do we have in that bank? Because it must equal to this 466 as our closing figure. This is what we are looking at. Okay, I'm seeing 400 and something million. So let's call this one 500 million. So let's call this expenses that is going out 20 million naira. Transportation, let's call it 4 million naira. Salaries we paid, the money is going out. Let's call it 15 million naira. If you look at it, you will see that opening, because bank is always debited, and every other income that any other inflow that comes will also be debited. So you had the debit entry together. I will add this one together. I'm having 523 million. I will also have the credit side together. That is what stage we do for you. We're having 39. Automatically, Sage will do the calculation. And it will say difference between this minus this. Should be this will now be your final trial balance. So this thing you are seeing here is what we are going to have here as what? As closing balance. But it does not reconcile with what we have on the, are we getting it now? So what we have here is, this one is current, this one is opening balance. From here to here are the current transactions. Then this one is the closing balance. This closing balance will be what will be on the final trial balance. Are we getting the gist now? This one will be what will be under current transaction for that trial balance. Are we getting that now? Why the 30 million will be the opening trial balance? So the movement of opening plus current transaction, if there's difference, if there's debit or whatever, net off of all those things, we give you the closing. Now, this is our cash book. Oh, this is our bank statement. This is our bank statement. Let's assume this is our bank statement. Our bank statement is reading 484. But our trial balance, which is this, our trial balance is the cash book, is reading how much? 466. The two does not agree. What is the difference? $80 million is unreconciled figure. This is where reconciliation starts from. You now start looking at it. What have I taken, or what expenses have we spent that bank have not captured? You will put it here. Or which one we have not paid, but I've already recognized it in my cash book. You will recognize it. And by the time you do plus and minus, you will see the difference of that 18 million naira. Now, for our account to be reconciled, let's assume that there's additional transaction of directors. We pay director. We actually pay director 18 million naira. Sorry, it has to be before this. So let me create another space here. So let's assume there's another transaction by director. You will see that once I put that 18 million naira there, it agrees directly. So it means my bank statement and my cash book agree. And that's what we call reconciliation. So this is the typical example of what? Of general ledger. Or let's assume this one I showed you is the cash book. This is cash book because this is our general ledger. Then this figure is our bank statement. Are we getting that now? So your general ledger must agree to what you have in your bank statement as at the end of the year. If the two figure does not agree, something is wrong, go and check your reconciliation again and start doing reconciliation. If you don't agree, another topic entirely is bank reconciliation. So you now start looking at it. How do we do reconciliation statement? So you now start looking at it one by one for it to be agreed. Because if it does not agree, you said in your balance, let's assume this is what normally happens. Let's assume we do not recognize this 80 million naira. And you always prepare your financial statement every month. And you went to the board of directors. They said, accountant, how much do we have in our bank today? They said, okay, we have money. We have 484 million naira. Wow, that's cool. Thank God we are owing our customer 480. They just draw out their cash, their checkbook, 480 million naira. Go and bring that 480 million naira from the bank. Whereas you don't have 480 million naira in the bank, you only have 466. You now get to the bank, they say, oh God, you didn't have this 466 in the bank. All you have is 480 million naira. 466. So you now come back to the board of directors. I'm sorry, we did not have 466. What will happen with that accountant? Sack straight. Or if the board are lenient, they say we'll be deducting it from your salary since you are the one doing rubbish for us. Anyway, so that's how it goes. Are we good to go? Any questions? We are trying to round up now. Any questions so far? Online, do we have any questions? Yeah, what happened to you? No other. You want to ask question? Which mark? This for it more. This is what. Okay. Difference between debit and credit. You know, okay, let's look at this way. Let's look at it this way. We don't need to show something like this. That's not how your sage will give you. Your sage will always give you what we call balance, Abi. Yeah. Have you noticed that? Your sage will give you balance, Abi. So what will happen is that it will not be this minus this. It will give you 13 million naira. Then Sage will take it again. This balance you have plus this. Okay, I didn't. Okay. So your Sage will now say this plus 500 because the money is coming in again. It will bring it here. Sage will say again, just like your bank statement as well. We say this plus this. It will give you the balance. Sage will now say this minus this. It will give you this. Sage will also say this minus this. Then Sage will say this minus this. So it will give you that 4-8. Are we getting the gist? Then let's assume there's additional 18 million naira here. For it to be agreed. So Sage will say this figure, because it's a credit balance, minus this, we give you the same for. So this balance will now come here. Are we good to go? So this is how Sage will do it for you on a straight line. So if we look at it, the difference between the two give you the same thing. Any question? Online, physical, as we round up the class? Huh? By the time we start the financial statement tomorrow, you will see the essence of this trial balance. And you will see where we'll be picking the figures from, one by one by each. We have done this one from scratch. I remember the last time we had this training, I was asked to start from scratch. So I'm taking it from scratch. But unfortunately, most of them are not in class today. But I believe they'll be fine. Yes, someone is asking question. Titilayo, your question.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I've seen this trial balance before, and I know I've seen the column for adjusted trial balance. So that one actually made it very confusing. Like the man did another extra column with debit and credit for adjusted trial balance, but I really did not understand what he did. It looks like magic. Thank you.
Okay, but this one is better now, Abby.
Yes, I understand it better with this now.
All right. So for that adjustment is for auditors. This one we are preparing now is for normal accountants. Okay. But when auditor, that's audit journal. If you want to pass audit journal, you now create additional 2 sheets. You will call that one, we call this one opening trial balance, current transaction. Here now, you now call it what? Audit journal, before you have final trial balance. Do you understand now? But that one is not necessary for now. That will be confusing. I think I have a question here. Ogami, we still there with you from last training. We hear you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I believe I want to try to cover any part that is not clear when we had the last training. But Mr. David is available, is online. Okay, so I think we are all fine now. Let's close here today. Then tomorrow, we will just complete first part. Then next week when we meet, we will go to the second part of the training. We are meeting tomorrow now. Everything is on that manual. So that those who want to go to church, you can go to church and we can meet together. Okay, so let's stop here. Any other question online? Can we stop now? I can dash you the remaining 30 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's call it a day. You're welcome.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, any question before I end it for all?
There is a question. We're just like taking a bit backward. I think some of us from the online, we joined a bit late. And I think I met when you were interpreting the formula. So the process before we got to that point, I didn't really follow it up. I don't know if there will just be a kind of a small recap so that it wouldn't be very cumbersome on my understanding.
Don't worry,
Thank you, sir.
when we start tomorrow, I will recap on it. Before we go,
Okay,
I will do a quick recap before I start tomorrow's one.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. That audit journal will now affect the final trial balance. You will add something to the information, to the formulas, so that it will be able to capture that audit journal you have. But if I put that one, it will be confusing because we are not going to use the journal. See the same formula. Yes. The only thing that you now include a column of the audit journal to it. Okay, so let's meet tomorrow again.